Okay, take two. Believe it or not, I did most of this demo and then I realized the camera wasn't running. Huh. Anyways, good day to all you YouTubers who are into all things bush. Today I thought I'd show you how to use some of the items in my little so-called survival kit. First of all, quick explanation of what we got up here. This is a glue stick from an ordinary glue gun, candle. This is actually the modern version of pine tree resin or pitch that people have used for thousands of years. What else we got? Okay, hacksaw blade, the back end of a hacksaw blade. For some reason, a hacksaw blade, this will get all burnt out, won't cut anything, and the back 4 inches here, nobody ever uses it, still good, so that's handy to use. You just snap it off with some pliers. This is the blade from one of these knives. And then you just use this kind of plastic tape and make a handle for them. I just gotta check, make sure my camera's still running. Yes, it appears to be. Okay. So, that's what some of those items are. I first saw this saw and I kind of scoffed the first time I saw them, but they actually turned out to be pretty useful. One good thing about a hacksaw blade is it'll take a lot of torque. It was made to cut metal, so it'll cut everything else. Wood, plastic, bone. It'll cut wood forever and not dull. So you wrap a handle. The good thing about them too is they'll have this little hole in them. You can tie it on a string and you won't lose your stuff. Okay, so that's in the survival kit. This we'll get to in a bit. The ubiquitous, not included in the kit, rock. A couple other items, safety pin, couple nails with the head cut off, some cordage, some string. This is the kind of string I have for the flashlight in the kit. Now, I want to talk a bit about survival kits first. We started making them when we were teenagers. We were all in, we grew up with hunting, fishing, camping, all that with our dads and our uncles, me and my buddy. And he read this magazine article about making them up, so we started making them up because that's the kind of thing teenage boys do, and you never know, you might get in a survival situation. But over the decades, what I found is all this stuff is useful in everyday life. You want a little knife, you want a little saw, you want some cordage, a safety pin, some fish hooks, a nail, some plastic bags, anything like that, super glue, and stuff you include in your kit. When you're out camping, hunting and fishing, you don't always remember to take everything in the kitchen sink. So you make 3 or 4 of these, you put one in the glove box in the car, or one in the trunk, you put one in your backpack, one in your fishing kit, they don't take up much room. And when you need those everyday items, when you're camping, hunting and fishing, and even around the city or over to a friend's place, well, they don't have a knife that wants to do what you want to do or something like that. Oh, you got it in the car. So that's what makes this more worthwhile. You kind of put it together with the idea of, if I was out in the bush all by myself and all I had was this little can, what would I want in it? But it turns out it's just more useful and practical. And of course, you got to remember to restock items once you use them. Any first aid, any of that kind of stuff, it's all handy. Now, I would show you what's all in mine, but people do that, that's common, and when people are watching those kind of videos, they don't know what it's used for if they've never seen it used before and all that kind of thing, and other people scoff at things like this unless they actually see them. Oh yeah, right, that's going to work. And something else I'm going to show you that's kind of wild. Oh yeah, this came from this thing here. It's good to make up this kind of thing. It's just string. I think I got 3 strands woven together of different colors, and then 3 of those all woven together. Now, it's a good piece of cordage to tie stuff up. You don't put that in your kit, you wear it around your neck or something like that. You can take out single strands to do things or use the whole thing. It also makes pretty good tinder, especially if you grease it up or oil it or something. Oh, the other thing is if you were out in a survival situation and you had access to some kind of animal fat or oil, you could make an oil lamp that would burn on a slow flame all night in a tent. It wouldn't give out much heat, but it'd give you light all night, better than a candle or anything, let's say if you had the animal fat. But anyways, enough about that. Back to the survival kits. I would show you what's in mine, say people scoff, so I thought I'd show you some of the tools, how to use them to make things that you need out in the bush and that kind of stuff. So today we're going to do a bush arrow. I'm going to do a bush bow and arrow event, but today we'll do the arrow. The bow is actually quite a bit simpler. Now people, they go through too much trouble. I've seen them making bush tubes on YouTube. Okay, so, oh, the other thing about the saw is it's handy if you have dry wood for making tinder to start a fire. Just do that quite a bit and you get a nice little pile of sawdust that your sparker or your magnifying glass or your bow drill, whatever, will light up. So that's one good thing. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is cut. I already did this demo once, but my camera wasn't running, which really sucked. So I pretty much got one made already, but I'll do just the bits to show you how. Now this is to cut the knot. I'll show you later first how to use this. This is the business. Supposedly this is the business end. You put the arrowhead in for one of them. You use the saw. When you do a bush arrow, it don't gotta be fancy or straight. You don't have to take the bark off, any of that. Just a reasonably straight stick. And I mean, you know, if you're out in the bush and you're hungry, daylight's burning 4 or 5 hours a night, you don't want to spend 2 hours making a bow and arrow. You want to spend 20 minutes, which I'll show you how to do. But you don't have to peel the bark off, any of that stuff. The main thing is you cut the end straight with the saw. I'll show you how to do that. So you don't have to go through anything. So first of all, I'll show you how to deal with these little things. But yeah, when you're making a bush bow, you're going to be using your hand for the arrow rest. So you want to make sure it's smooth enough for that, or wear some gloves. If you wear a glove, if you've got leather gloves with you, then it don't matter how rough this is. But anyways, so we'll take care of this little nubby first. This is how you strip all those off. I want to show you how to use some of the tools. This is a pretty green branch. The trick with these little saws is to use as much of the blade as you can, as long a stroke. Now, that takes care of that. You want to use your thumb like this and use this to steer, and you can use your thumb to put quite a bit of pressure on the nut to take all those. And just to smooth those off. You get the idea. I'm not going to actually do it with that. The rest of this we won't use. Let me just take this. Just wanted to show you the saw and the knife working. Now this saw don't look like much, but try to do that with a hunting knife or even a knife like this. The little saw did the trick. So this is the end. I'm going to put the, I'll show you that later. So that takes care of that. Okay, I'll show you how to put a knock in the end. This is what I'm going to use for bowstring. Already did one of these, but this is another typical end. You want to cut a notch in there so the string fits in it. That way it doesn't slip off the end of the arrow. And I may do this just a little bit off camera here for a better purchase. Out in the bush, you'd maybe hold it against a tree or something like this, a stump. You want to try and saw a lot center line down. About half the depth of the saw. There, that's not too bad. Okay, you get the idea. See, I got a notch in there. It's not wide enough for the string yet. Pardon me. It's not wide enough for the string yet, so this is the bowstring you want to use. And so see, it's not quite wide enough, so you only use your little knife. Fix that up a bit. Make it a little wider. Just cut off to the side of the saw blade. These are very big. Didn't go deep enough. Now you want to be careful not to twist your blade and snap it. Trying to get these little pieces of wood out. There, that one seems to have broken. Little kind of misery here. You just gotta keep working with the blade there. It's coming out now. That's enough. Okay, see how that's the string end of the bow. Now normally with a modern bow ears pull like this. And then that might not be so good with a loose. This is not loose. Modern nocks are set up so they just bite on the string tight enough. So instead of doing that, you might want to do Plains Indian style of holding on to it with 2 fingers like that. And that's why a good fat arrow. You don't need skinny sticks like modern arrows to make arrows. You don't need a good fat stick like that, even as big as my thumb. It works. It's fine. So the Plains Indian style of drawing might be better. I'll show that again. So that's a nock.